We're back on Inside Tennessee with a recap of 2021 and the political winners and losers, and we're focused on the state now. Susan, let's start with you. Your state winner of 2021.
Well, I think it has to be our Speaker of the House, Cameron Sexton. He is the person in charge of redistricting. For those that don't understand, once we have a census every 10 years, we have to look at redistricting, local level as well as the state, your state districts, your congressional districts as well. And so Cameron is the guy in charge of that. And that is a very powerful position to have. They look at where we've grown and where we've lost voters. And based on all of that, they then can redraw the district lines. And frankly, when the Democrats were in charge, they drew the Republicans out of their districts, and the Republicans are probably going to do some of the same thing. So Cameron is holding a very important pen in his hand right now.
Don, how about you?
Well, I'll say, I always hear this rhetoric, the Democrats did it too. Well, the Republicans have done it in a new and insidious way because they're really doing it as much as they can based on factors that courts likely strike down. So I'm not sure that that's a dead issue yet. But my winner actually is the Tennessee legislature. Not because they're doing anything I'm terribly proud of, but because they've been very effective at wresting control from Governor Lee. Typically, the governor is very strong in our state. I think back to the days of Ned Brady McWhorter, where he could walk into any legislator's office and pretty much get them in tow. Bill Lee does not have that political savvy, and as a result, through kind of, I don't really want to call it ineptitude, but lack of experience, the legislature has taken advantage of that and wrested a lot of control away, and they are very powerful now. And I think really they are, from a political standpoint only, winners this year.
Susan, you're a political loser at the state level. Obviously, we're not calling any one person a loser, but you get the point.
Well, one more thing on another winner that I want to throw out there would be the Commissioner of Economic and Community Development, Bob Rolfe. As we talked about with the governor on the show last week, it's the largest political and economic win in the state's history, is bringing Ford, the Ford plant, to West Tennessee, to a rural area where it's going to create thousands of jobs. So I want to just give one little hat tip to that commissioner and to Bill Lee for making that happen. It's going to make a world of difference in development in rural West Tennessee. Losers this past year, I'm having a hard time with that, to be really honest. The Democrat Party has a new party chairman, state party chairman. His name is Hendrell Remus. He's the first African-American state party chairman for either of the parties in Tennessee, and good for him, good for the party for bringing in some diversity. I think he's got a long road to hoe, though. The Democrats have not made any progress to speak of in the last 10 years or so. We talk about the supermajority in the legislatures. We've got 7 of the 9 congressmen, 2 senators, and a governor. I think the party continues to be the loser. I don't know when that pendulum swings back, as it ultimately will do. But for right now, I got to give the Democrat Party as the loser from this year.
Don?
Well, interesting. I want to give a tip of the hat to my friend and political compatriot and sage, and Billy Stair, who I spoke with this week. And I ran some of these questions to Billy, and Billy made me think about something, and I think he's right as it relates to state loser. This year, in 2021, with the census, the rural counties have seen the most dramatic Democratic shift in our state's history. 30 counties have had a loss of population, and another 19 grew less than 2%, while 7 counties, all within 50 miles of Nashville, grew, by more than 20%. Those small counties really face a generational loss and likelihood of economic slowdown and growth that are dramatically going to affect our state and affect their power and influence within the state. So we really are seeing a centralizing of population, economics, and power that is unprecedented in our state. And those small rural counties are going to suffer even more for it than we've seen over the last 5 years. And I thought that was a really astute thing for Billy to pick up on, and I agree with him.
We've got 90 seconds. Susan, your issue of 2021 at the state level.
It has to be the pandemic and the mask mandates. If you remember, the legislature called a special session itself, not the governor. The governor generally calls special sessions, but the legislature did that this year to talk about mask mandates, to try to do away with mask mandates, even against federal court rulings. So I think, as much as we would like to say there are other things happening out there, the pandemic and the mask mandates have to be the number one issue.
Don?
I agree with Susan. It's COVID, and frankly, the lack of leadership that was shown by our state legislature and governor over trying to get this pandemic under control. That is the issue this year.
We've got to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee. We're going to be back with the national political winners and losers on Inside Tennessee. Always one of our favorite conversations. We wish we had Billy and the bigger gang with us, but the circumstances do not allow for that. But we appreciate Billy making an appearance through Don Bosch as well. We're back with more right after this.